Hello friends, welcome to AS Tutorials. Today we are going to solve some problems on root locus method. Sketch the root locus for the system having g of s into h of s is equal to k divided by s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5. Given open loop transfer function g of s into h of s is equivalent to k divided by s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5. To sketch the root locus, first we are going to identify the number of poles and number of zeros. As we know, in the open loop transfer function, the numerator s terms are considered as zeros and denominator s terms are considered as poles. In this open loop transfer function, only denominator s terms are given, that is only poles are given. S is equal to 0, s plus 0.5 is equal to 0, s plus 1 is equal to 0, s plus 1.5 is equal to 0. 4 poles are given in this problem. Therefore, number of poles are 4, that is s is equal to 0, s plus 0.5 is equal to 0, s plus 1 is equal to 0, s plus 1.5 is equal to 0. This can be written as s is equal to 0, s is equal to minus 0.5, s is equal to minus 1, s is equal to minus 1.5. In this, numerator s values are not given, that is 0 values are not given, therefore number of zeros are nil. So in this you can see number of poles are greater than number of zeros, that is number of poles greater than number of zeros. So we are going to consider the number of branches is equivalent to number of poles, that is capital N is equivalent to number of poles is equivalent to 4. The number of branches are n is equivalent to 4. Next we are going to plot the pole 0 plot and then we'll identify the root locus path in it. On this real axis we are going to consider the pole location, that is first pole location is s is equal to 0, that is at the origin, s is equal to 0, and next pole location is minus 0.5, and the next pole location is minus 1, and next is s is equal to minus 1.5, minus 1.5. So on this real axis we are going to consider the root locus path, and we know the condition to consider the root locus path. We are going to consider root locus path for an odd count of pole or zeros, and we are going to consider no root locus path for an even count of poles or zeros. In this you can see on right hand side I am not having any pole or zero till this point, that is the count is 0. 0 is an even count. For this part I am going to consider no root locus path. At this point I am getting one pole, that is odd count. From this point to next count I am going to consider the root locus path. Now at this point it going to become 2, count to 2, and 2 is an even count, and from this point to next count I am going to consider no root locus. Now here the count becomes 3. Now for an odd count, now here the count becomes 3 and 3 is an odd count. From this point to next count I am going to consider the root locus path. Now at this point the count becomes 4 and 4 is an even count, and for an even count we are going to consider the no root locus path till next count. And in this we can see that I am not having any count here. Till infinity I am going to consider no root locus path. So in this way we have considered the root locus path and no root locus path. Next we are going to consider the number of branches approaching to infinity. For that, number of poles minus number of zeros is equivalent to number of poles are 4 minus number of zeros are 0. Here I am getting 4 branches approaching to infinity. 4 branches approaching to infinity. In this you can see 4 branches are approaching to infinity. In the question you can see only 4 poles are given, and in this zeros are not provided, so that all these 4 poles are going to end at infinite path. So in this way we have considered here also pole number of poles minus number of zeros is equivalent to 4 minus 0 is equivalent to 4 branches approaching to infinity. Now the starting point in this, we know that the starting points are 0, minus 1.5, minus 1 and minus 1.5, and for these starting points the end points are infinity, 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 infinity. First we'll consider the starting point. Starting points are starting point 0, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 1.5, and ending point is infinity, 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 and then infinity. So we know now starting point and ending point, and in this you can see 4 branches are approaching to infinity. I need to calculate now 4 angle of asymptotes. Next I am going to calculate angle of asymptotes. Calculate angle of asymptotes. The formula theta is equivalent to 2q plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles minus number of zeros, and in this case the q value for first angle 0 we are going to substitute, and for second angle the q value we are going to substitute 1, and for a third angle we are going to substitute q value 2, and for a fourth angle we are going to substitute q value 3. Now in this way we are going to calculate the 4 angle. First angle theta 1 is equivalent to 2 into 0 plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles, in this case 4, minus number of zeros nil, 0. So in this I am going to get 2 into 0, 0 plus 1, 1 into 180 degree divided by 4 equivalent to 45 degree. So I got the first angle, that is theta 1, 45 degree. Next we are going to calculate theta 2. Theta 2 is equivalent to 2 into 1 plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles are 4, 4 minus 0. In this now I have substituted q value 1, and here I am going to get 2 into 1 2, 2 plus 1 3, 3 into 180 degree divided by 4 is equivalent to 540 degree divided by 4. This will be equivalent to 135 degree. So theta 2 I got, theta 2 is equivalent to 135 degree. Next I am going to calculate third angle. Theta 3 is equivalent to 2 into 2 plus 1. Now I have substituted q value 2, 2 into 2 plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles 4 minus 0. Here I am getting 2 into 2 4, 4 plus 1 5, 5 into 180 degree I am getting here 900 degree divided by 4. This will be equivalent to 225 degree. So theta 3 I got 225 degree. Next fourth angle theta 4 is equivalent to 2 into, now the q value I am going to substitute 3, 2 into 3 plus 1 into 180 degree divided by number of poles here 4 minus number of zeros 0. So 2 into 3 6, 6 plus 1 7, 7 into 180 I am getting here 1260 degree divided by 4, and this will be equivalent to 315 degree. So theta 4 I got 315 degree. these are the 4 angles. By following these 4 angles, all the 4 branches approaches to infinity. To draw these 4 angles on real axis, I need to consider a point centroid. So next, centroid denoted by sigma. We know the formula. Sigma is equivalent to summation of real part of poles minus summation of real part of zeros divided by number of poles minus number of zeros. Now in this problem, real part of poles are 0, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 1.5, and summation of real part of 0. In this problem, number of zeros are nil, therefore this part we are going to consider 0, and in the denominator number of poles are 4 minus number of zeros are zeros. So by substituting real part of poles, we know that sigma is equivalent to the real part of poles are 0, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 1.5, minus summation of real part of zeros 0 whole divided by number of poles 4 minus number of zeros 0. This will be equivalent to minus 0.5 minus 1 minus 1.5. We are going to get here minus 3 divided by 4. This will be equivalent to minus 0.75. So therefore the centroid value sigma is equivalent to minus 0.75. Next we are going to calculate the breakaway point, because in this problem we are having more than one pole. There may be breakaway points, therefore we are going to calculate the breakaway point. To calculate breakaway point, we know that first we need to consider the characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0. So 1 plus g of s into h of s value is k divided by s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5 is equal to 0. By taking LCM, s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5 plus k whole divided by s into s plus 0.5, s plus 1, s plus 1.5 is equal to 0. Now by taking this denominator to the right hand side, it becomes 0. Now we are going to get s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5 plus k is equal to 0. By multiplying this, we will get s to the power 4 plus 3s to the power 3 plus 2.75 s to the power 2 plus 0.75s plus k is equal to 0. This is the characteristic equation we got. From this characteristic equation, we are going to form the k equation by keeping k on the left hand side and taking all the s terms to the right hand side. By keeping k on the left hand side and by taking all the s terms to the right hand side, I will get, now by differentiating this k equation with respect to s, I will get dk by ds is equal to differentiation of s to the power 4 is minus 4 into s to the power 3 minus differentiation of 3 into s to the power 3 is 9 s to the power 2 minus differentiation of 2.75 s to the power 2 is 5.5 s minus differentiation of 0.75 is differentiation of 0.75 s is 0.75 is equal to 0. Now for this differentiated equation, we are going to calculate the root values. Here I got the differentiation equation. For this I got the root values. S is equal to minus 0.19 and the second root value I got minus 1.30 and the third root value I got minus 0.75. In these three breakaway points, I need to check whether they are valid or invalid by substituting in k equation. So k equation, k is equivalent to minus s to the power 4 minus 3s to the power 3 minus 2.75 s to the power 2 minus 0.75 s. First I am going to consider s is equal to minus 0.19. For this I am getting an k value is equivalent to 0.06. So it is a positive value. Therefore s is equal to minus 0.19 is valid breakaway point. Next I will check for minus 1.30. K is equivalent to minus s to the power 4 minus 3s to the power 3 minus 2.75 s to the power 2 minus 0.75 s. Now the s value I am considering here minus 1.30. By substituting minus 1.30 in this, I am getting k is equivalent to 0.07. I am getting here also positive value. Therefore this s is equal to minus 1.30 is valid breakaway point. Next I will check for minus 0.75. K is equivalent to minus s to the power 4 minus 3s to the power 3 minus 2.75 s to the power 2 minus 0.75 s. Now by considering s is equal to minus 0.75, when I substitute s is equal to minus 0.75 in this k equation, here I am getting k is equivalent to minus 0.03. So you can see now I am getting negative value. Therefore this value is an invalid breakaway point. S is equal to minus 0.75 is invalid breakaway point. So in this way we are going to check the valid and invalid breakaway point by substituting in k equation. So next we are going to find the intersection with imaginary axis. To calculate intersection with imaginary axis, here I am using a Routh method. To use Routh method, first I need characteristic equation, that is 1 plus g of s into h of s is equal to 0. 1 plus g of s into h of s value is k divided by s into s plus 0.5 into s plus 1 into s plus 1.5 is equal to 0. In the breakaway point calculation, I have found the characteristic equation for this open loop transfer function. Now I am writing that value directly here, that is s to the power 4 plus 3 into s to the power 3 plus 2.75 into s to the power 2 plus 0.75 s plus k is equal to 0. Now from this characteristic equation I am going to form the Routh array. For that I am going to consider the highest power of s from this characteristic equation first, that is s to the power 4, and then other powers of s I am going to consider in decrementing order, that is s to the power 3, s to the power 2, s to the power 1, and ends with s to the power 0. Now next I am going to form the two rows directly from the characteristic equation. For that I need to consider the coefficient. Here in this a0 I am getting a0 is equal to 1 and a1 is equal to 3 and a2 is equal to 2.75 and then a3 is equal to 0.75 and a4 is equal to k. So these are the coefficients. To form first row we are going to consider the even coefficient, that is a0, a2 and a4, and a0 value is 1 and a2 value is 2.75 and a4 value is k. That I am going to consider here 1, 2.75 and then k. Now next to form the second row I am going to consider the odd coefficient, that is a1, a3 a1 value is 3 and a3 value is 0.75, and I'm not having any a5 value, therefore I'm going to consider 0. Now to get the third row, I'm going to multiply 3 into 2.75 minus 1 into 0.75 divided by 3. So 3 into 2.75, I'm getting here 8.25 minus 1 into 0.75 divided by 3, I'm getting 2.5. that I am going to substitute here 2.5. Next 3 into k minus 1 into 0 divided by 3, we are getting here k. So now next I am not having any coefficient, therefore this value will be 0. Next I am going to multiply 2.5 into 0.75, I am getting here 1.87 minus 3 into k, 3k divided by 2.5. Now next you can see here I am not having any multiplicand value, that is only I am having 0, therefore this value will be 0. Now next, to get the last row, we are going to multiply this term with k minus this term with 0, and we know that whenever we get in the diagonal 0 value, the resultant value is the above value, that is k. Directly I can write in this row. Now next we are going to find the k margin value from s to the power 0, k greater than 0. Next from s to the power 1, I am getting this equation 1.87 minus 3k divided by 2.5 equal to 0. Now this denominator term goes to the right hand side, becomes 0. Then I will be getting 1.87 minus 3k is equal to 0. 1.87 equal to 3k. K is equivalent to 1.87 by 3 is equal to 0.625. So you can see I got the k margin value, that is 0.625. Now next I am going to find the intersection value by using this k. For that I am going to substitute this k value in this equation. By that I will get this whole term 0, the whole row 0, the above row we are considering as a auxiliary equation. So by considering auxiliary equation, a of s is equal to 2.5 s square plus k is equal to 0. By substituting k value in this, 2.5 s square plus 0.625 is equal to 0. So you can see here I have considered the complete 0 row above row as a auxiliary equation, that is 2.5 s square plus k is equal to 0, and I have substituted the k value in this equation. Now I am going to calculate the s value. 2.5 s square is equivalent to minus 0.625 is the next s square is equivalent to minus 0.625 divided by 2.5. S square is equivalent to value, I will get minus 0.25. Now s is equivalent to root of minus, that is plus or minus j, root of 0.25. Root of 0.25 value is 0.5. This is the intersection with imaginary axis. Now this is the value intersection with imaginary axis. S is equal to plus or minus j 0.5. Next we are going to sketch the root locus. Now to sketch the root locus, I have considered here all the values what I have calculated, that is starting point, ending point, centroid, angle of asymptotes, breakaway point, intersection with imaginary axis. In this I have considered a normal sheet to sketch the root locus. You have to consider graph sheet. In the graph sheet you need to consider the scale of x-axis and y-axis same. Now here I have taken in the normal sheet 4 units is equivalent to 0.5. Sketch the root locus. I am going to start with the starting point, that is here you can see 0, minus 0.5, minus 1, minus 1.5. The first value, that is s is equal to 0, that is on the origin, s is equal to 0. Now I have taken here 4 units is equal to 0.5. So therefore I am going to consider the next pole, that is minus 0.5 at this point. So next by 4 units, the next I am going to consider minus 1, the next pole, and here I have considered the fourth pole, that is minus 1.5. So in this you can see that I have considered all these 4 poles. One is at origin, that is s is equal to 0, and the second pole is at minus 0.5, and third pole is at minus 1, and fourth pole is at minus 1.5. The scale what I have considered here for x-axis, the same scale I am going to consider for y-axis also. In this, for an y-axis you can see the intersection value I am getting s is equal to plus j.5 and minus j.5. So here I am going to consider plus j.5, and here I am considering minus j.5. Now these are the values I got, and then you can see here a breakaway point. I am getting 2 breakaway point. One is s is equal to minus 0.19. Somewhere here I am getting minus 0.19 breakaway point, and the second breakaway point minus 1.3. Somewhere here I am going to get minus 1.3 breakaway point. So now these are the points we have shown, and we need to consider the root locus path and no root locus path. That we know that from this point to this point no root locus path, and from this point to this point root locus, and from this point to this point no root locus path, and from this point to this point root locus, and from this point to till infinity no root locus. So as we know the procedure to identify the root locus path, that is based upon the odd count and even count. From here to here it is even count, no root locus path. From here to here it is odd count, root locus path I have considered. From here to here even count, no root locus path. From here to here odd count, root locus path. From here to till infinity even count, therefore no root locus path. Now as we know that poles they move in the root locus path, so this pole will move in this direction and this pole will move in this direction, and in this case this pole will move in this direction and this pole will move in this direction. In both the cases you can see that these two poles they are going to meet at one point that we called breakaway point. We got the value at a point minus 0.19 they are going to meet. So this is the first breakaway point, and in this case they are going to meet at minus 1.3. When they are moving in the opposite direction they are going to meet at minus 1.3, and you can see that you can check the validity of the breakaway point by the graph also. The breakaway point what we got, that is minus 0.19, and the root locus path value you can see 0 to minus 0.5. The first value I got in between root locus, the first value minus 0.19 I got in the root locus itself, therefore it is valid breakaway point. Second breakaway point you can see that I got minus 1 point. You can see second breakaway point minus 1.3 I got in between minus 1 to minus 1.5, and this is a root locus path, therefore it is a valid breakaway point. The third one we got somewhere minus 0.75, and you can see minus 0.75 it's coming in between no root locus path, therefore it is a invalid breakaway point we have considered. So in this way, by looking into the graph sheet we can check the validity of the breakaway point, but we need to calculate and show whether they are valid or invalid by the method what I have explained. Now when we apply the input k is equal to 0 to infinity, this pole will be moving in this direction and this pole will be moving in this direction. So then they are going to come out at this breakaway point. One pole will come out above and another pole will come out below, and for this these two poles need to follow certain angle. For that I have considered here centroid point minus 0.75. You can see here at this point I have drawn 4 angles, theta 1 with 45 degree, theta 2 with 135 degree, theta 3 with 225 degree, and theta 4 with 315 degree. These are the 4 angles I have considered where the 4 poles are going to move towards to infinite path. Now in this these 2 poles which going to meet at this point going to follow these 2 angles, and for these 2 poles I have considered these 2 angles. Now when I apply the input k is equal to 0 to infinity, this pole moves in this direction and this pole moves in this direction. They are going to meet at one point, that is breakaway point. That value we have calculated minus 0.19. After meeting at this point, one pole comes in upward direction and the other pole comes in the downward direction. This pole, by observing this angle and the intersection point, it going to approach to infinity in this way. And in the downwards pole, observing this angle and this intersection point, it going to approach towards to infinity in this way. So these two branches have approached to infinity by following these two angles, whereas in this case this pole will be moving in this direction and this pole will be moving in this direction. They are going to meet at the second breakaway point, that is minus 1.3, and both are going to come out, and one pole comes out at the upward direction and the other pole comes out in the downward direction. By observing this angle, it moves towards to infinite path. And this upward pole, by observing this angle, it will move towards to infinite path. So this is the root locus for the given problem. You can see here I have got the locus that is symmetrical. Now next we are going to comment on stability from this root locus. For that, we know for the system to be stable, we know that the root should be on the left hand side of the S-plane. If any root comes onto the right hand side of the S-plane, then the system becomes unstable. If the roots on the imaginary axis, then the system is said to be marginally stable. In this you can see for certain k value, that is when I give the input k is equal to 0 to infinity, for certain k value the roots are on the left hand side of the S-plane, and for certain k is equal to value, the roots on the imaginary axis, and then certain k greater than value, the roots are coming to the right hand side of the S-plane. Now this intersection value I have calculated for k margin is equal to 0.625. That means the system is marginally stable for k is equivalent to 0.625, and system is stable for k less than 0.625, and system becomes unstable when k greater than 0.625. That means you can see at k greater than 0.625, the roots are coming to the right hand side. So here I can comment k margin is equivalent to 0.625. System is marginally stable. And for k margin less than 0.625, stable system. And for k margin greater than 0.625, unstable system. Based upon the k margin value, we have commented the system is stable, unstable and marginally stable. In this way, we are going to comment on the stability of the system with the help of the root locus plot. Hope you understood this problem. For more such videos, like and subscribe my channel. Thank you.